The late president's moves to re-establish ties with Pakistan and Azerbaijan were essential in Iran's geopolitical methodology to balance Israel's impact in West Asia. The passing of Iranian President Ibrahim Raisi in a helicopter crash on May 19 couldn't have come at a more unseemly time for Iran. The occurrence happened in Varzakhan, in Iran's East Azerbaijan area, when Raisi and the country's outside Serv Hossein Amir Abdullahian were returning after concluding their visit to Azerbaijan. At a time when Iran was deliberately reinforcing its unions with its non-Arab neighbors in an effort to offset Israel's impact on the Middle Easterner countries within the Center East, the passings are genuine blows. In less than a month, Raisi gone by Pakistan and Azerbaijan, two of its most noteworthy neighbors, to reinforce two-sided ties. These visits came against the scenery of the later acceleration within the Israel-Iran struggle, which has increased territorial pressures. Iran's procedure includes energizing back from neighboring nations to show a joined-together front against Israel's activities in Gaza and past. This discretionary outreach is basic for Iran to reinforce its territorial standing and guarantee its geopolitical interface are secured. Both Pakistan and Azerbaijan have shared a complicated relationship with Iran. Iran's relations with Pakistan have disintegrated over the long time, with both sides blaming each other of maturing separatism in their particular backyards. Their relations hit a nadir when, in January this year, Iran carried out strikes on an anti-Iranian activist bunch, Jaish al-Adl, armed force of equity, in Pakistan's Balochistan territory. Pakistan reacted 2 days afterward with its possess airstrikes on Balochi separatists in Sistan area of Iran. The emergency appeared set to raise, but both sides figured it out the costs of such an heightening, and since at that point, have made endeavors to standardize ties. President Raisi's visit to Pakistan final month, apart from other things, was a step toward it. So also, Iran and Azerbaijan have shared an uneasy relationship in spite of authentic, social, and devout ties. Both Iran and Azerbaijan are Shia-majority Muslim nations. Ayatollah Khamenei, the incomparable pioneer of Iran, is of Azeri plummet. Be that as it may, Azerbaijan has progressively adjusted itself with the West. As a result, numerous unmistakable Iranian lawmakers have more than once called Azerbaijan an Israeli intermediary. In any case, the progressing Israel-Hamas strife has redrawn the forms of arrangement within the Center East, lifting the shroud from the key, however cumbersome collusion between the Middle Easterner countries and Israel. The way in which Middle Easterner nations, counting Saudi Arabia, UAE, and Jordan, helped Washington and Tel Aviv in blunting the uncommon Iranian rocket and ramble assaults on Israel sent a solid message, almost the Israeli and Iranian position within the locale. The Israeli Defense Powers Chief of Staff pronounced that Iran's assault had made new opportunities for participation within the Center East. The territorial fusion that taken an interest in interference rockets and rambles from Iran illustrated the foundation of a territorial Arab-Israel collusion against Iran. Feeling progressively confined, Tehran figured it out that it had to reassess its diversion range within the Center East and secure its ties with its other non-Arab neighbors. Iran's outreaches to Islamabad and Baku are a portion of its endeavors to secure its western and northern borders and upgrade its vital profundity. Raisi's conciliatory efforts were hence portion of a broader technique to counter Israel's impact within the region and get help from the financial sanctions from the West, which may get harsher within the close future. By fortifying organizations together with non-Arab nations like Pakistan and Azerbaijan, Tehran points to construct a organize of strong states that may offer assistance offset Israel's vital moves. This approach not as it were broadens Iran's conciliatory and financial associations, but too makes a buffer against potential military and political dangers from Israel and its modern territorial partners. Raisi's visit to Pakistan in April pointed to fortify reciprocal relations, particularly within the domains of financial participation and territorial security. Amid his trip, Raisi and Pakistan's Prime Minister concurred to improve the two-sided exchange to $10 billion every year, flagging a solid commitment to financial association in spite of potential repercussions from Western sanctions. The steps towards resumption of the Iran-Pakistan gas pipeline bargain, moreover, came as a major breakthrough for Tehran that can relieve its financial troubles. Their joint articulation encouraging the United Nations Security Committee to require activity against Israel for wrongfully focusing on neighboring nations and remote conciliatory offices showcased joining on their stand towards Israel. Raisi's visit to Azerbaijan was similarly aimed at reinforcing territorial collusions. The key significance of Azerbaijan to Iran lies in its geographic location and its potential part as a complice in different regional initiatives. Fortifying ties with Azerbaijan allows Iran to make a more bound-together front in the Caucasus locale, which is fundamental for countering the geopolitical moves of Israel and its partners. President Raisi's visits to Pakistan and Azerbaijan highlighted Iran's key endeavors to fortify unions with non-Arab neighbors as portion of a broader technique to counter Israel's impact within the locale. These visits underscored Iran's commitment to upgrading territorial security and conciliatory ties with key neighboring nations, subsequently making a more vigorous range of allies in an unstable geopolitical scene. The unforeseen passing of President Raisi essentially imperils Iran's key endeavors to fashion unions with non-Arab countries. These unions were significant in Iran's broader geopolitical technique to counterbalance Israel's impact within the region. His passing makes an administration vacuum at a basic crossroads, potentially stalling the force of these political endeavors and causing insecurity in Iran's remote approach heading. Additionally, the misfortune of Raisi's individual political engagements and his special impact could diminish Iran's capacity to successfully rally territorial support against Israel, debilitating its key position and disturbing plans for a territorial anti-Israel collusion.